Back in January, I got a call. Hello? Yeah, from the kids who are graduating this year from the school that I graduated from. And they were asking if I would do their graduation speech. So I thought that was a really cool opportunity. And I figured because I was going traveling for 2 months and I was going to meet so many amazing people.
This is Steven. I'm from the States, the United States, and I'm from Georgia.
I'm Patrick from Canada.
I'm Olta Dostrova. I'm from Russia.
Hi, my name's Nigel.
Hey, I'm Julian from France.
Hola, this is Candela. I'm from Spain.
My name is Daniel.
Instead of just giving them my life advice, I would collect some from some of the interesting people that I met and put it in a speech and give them a different perspective.
Some life advice would be, there's no one true path. Everyone out there likes to say, you know, they figured it out, or this is the religion, or this is the political view. And every time I figure it out, there's not one right. And you got to pick and choose. You got to see what works best for you. But you have to be really open for it. And you have to really understand, is it best for you? Is it best for them? Most often it's probably best for them. So just stay open, be smart.
My piece of advice that I'm trying to take on myself is do what scares you. Because I know what it's like to live in fear, and fear will control you. So do what scares you and you'll realize it's not that scary.
My life advice for you is, even if sometimes life is shit, it's for the purpose. Always, when you have some troubles, close your eyes, your hand on your heart, and listen to it. Because here, there are all the answers.
Just enjoy your life, get on with it. There's blips, but it'll be okay.
My advice today will be sharing is living. You can share just a drink, you can share a meal, you can share part of your journey. But whatever you're sharing, the thing you will have a lot of things in return, a lot of joy, a lot of moments, a lot of experiences. I think, yeah, sharing is living. Just start and you will find happiness at the end of the road.
A piece of advice could be to ask more questions and understand people's lives in depth, so that you reach a point where you're not stuck in your assumptions and you go beyond. Yeah, I think that would be it.
And you will look back and be grateful for where you are now.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and the class of 2026. My name is Dylan Watt. It was only 7 years ago that I was sitting right here. And Beachy's not a very big town, so it's nice to see some familiar faces. But it's an honor to be up here and to kind of give what life advice I've got over the past 7 years and over the last couple journeys that I've had. So I'll try and give you my best to give you something interesting. If you wanted someone to tell you to work hard and follow your dreams, I would have bought you a Hallmark card and called it a night. So to address the question I've been asked a couple of times, which is kind of an odd one, why would they ask you to be a guest speaker for an event like this? That's easy. I have no idea. It wasn't my decision. I think I have some different stories, and I've got good at telling some of them. And on the other hand, I'm an unemployed college graduate who has somewhat been homeless and living in a backpack on the other side of the world for the last 2 months. I got home 4 days ago, for anybody wondering. So there's two different ways you could look at it. I call that perspective, and that's an important thing to remember. So I got a call from Kyle in the middle of January asking if I'd be willing to come and do this speech. At this time, I knew my job contract was going to be over, and I had a couple months with no real plans. It'd always been a big dream of mine to go and travel the world and see what was out there. So I left home with a single backpack and very little plan, with the deadline of May 1st. In my books, that's some pretty serious organization. I booked my return flight 2 weeks ago. So now I'm not saying this is for everyone, but what I am saying is that you should spend time finding your strengths and work really hard to master them. Maybe event planning, maybe working with your hands. For me, it's problem solving. Most people don't see it like that. I woke up every day for 2 months, not having a plan, and always just finding something to do. It was the easiest way to find an adventure, and it was probably the most exciting. This can get you in trouble because the actual term is called procrastination, which I've worked very hard to master and have used it to my benefit many a times, including writing this speech at 10:30 last night. So in saying this, I would recommend to you that you work hard in whatever you do, whatever it is that you choose. But in working hard, you do have to become an adult. You never have to grow up. Never. I have yet to do it. So I take off on this trip, and I had to think about life advice to share with some of you young adults. And what better place to find it than where everyone else in the world is gathering to collectively find themselves and look at different paths in life. So I tasked myself with asking people I found interested to share pieces of life advice with me so that I can share it here tonight. So on the topic of paths and finding oneself, I start with Stephen. He said that there's no one true path, and that every time you seem to have it figured out, something will change, and you just have to realize that that might not be the answer that you were looking for. It's better to just keep going, keep doing things, keep trying things, because whatever you have planned, it's not going to work out. I hate to break it to you. So do weird things. Always be willing to try new experiences and never be scared of messing up, because there's always something that you'll learn from everything that you do. And the opposite is something that I remind myself of often, and that is that no one knows what's going on. The adults in your life might not be happy that I'm sharing their secret with you, but this is their first time living as well. They have no idea what's going on each and every day, and that's okay. It's okay not to know. We find this a lot in our lives, especially as a young generation, that we have so many choices. Just do something. It doesn't matter. Just try different things out. It's okay. I still have no idea what I'm going to do. So, moving on, I met a guy named Patrick from Ontario, and he said that we need to do things that scare us, because you may just realize that what you've been scared of doing this entire time isn't actually that scary. I found this out while I was away on my trip. Since I was 14 or 15, I'd wanted to be a photographer and make videos. It's a simple little thing, but I was scared of what people might say and think. So I was scared of it. I didn't do it for 10 years. I had a chance where no one knew who I was to start taking pictures and creating little videos and putting them on YouTube. This was nerve-wracking and exciting, and the more things that you do in life, the more you'll realize that being nervous and being excited is a very fine line that you just walk all the time. So if it makes you nervous, it's probably a good thing. And then when things get tough, that's okay, because it's for the purpose or the plot of life. This is what Olya, a girl from Russia, said. She said, even if life is crap, it's for the purpose of learning and living. When you get into these situations, it's good to listen to your heart, because you'll often find the answers within yourself. It's easy to get caught up in looking around for the answers and everything else, but sometimes it's good to just take a breath and see what you're actually looking for. Similar to what Nigel from the UK said to me, enjoy your life, get on with it. There will be blips, but that's okay. It's a very simple one, but it seemed very magical in an 80s rock bar in Thailand when we were singing karaoke. And he's right, there's blips in everyone's life. There will be hard things that come up and hard things that challenge you all the time. That's where growth comes in, and those hard things will pass. It's one of my favorite little quotes that I've said for a long time. The hardest thing that you've ever been through is the hardest thing that you've ever been through. It's a bit of a hazy quote, but it means that everyone has been through something hard, and that's okay, because you got through it, and the next time you find yourself in a hard situation, you'll get through that as well. The world is also full of amazing people, and you can enjoy life with them. Julian, a guy from France, said that life is about sharing. Sharing drinks, sharing meals, and sharing parts of your journey. In return, you get moments and experiences that you've shared with someone else. If you just start, then you get to find happiness within yourself and with others. Julian's partner, Candela, shared that we need to ask more questions, be more curious, and get to know people more in depth. By getting to know people, you keep yourself from getting stuck in your own assumptions. I love to sit with people who are by themselves or just ask them a simple question. To me, a stranger is just a friend waiting to happen, so I like talking to random people and sharing a story with them. Yesterday, I was at Costco getting ice cream. I met an 80-year-old who was getting hot dogs, and he made a joke about his knees. He then told me his life story about working at the flour mill for 36 years, loading train cars. It wasn't exciting or interesting, but it was kind of cool to just hear somebody else's story. And this goes into some of the other life advice that I witnessed while traveling. In Asia, their elderly people have a lot of respect for their elderly people. And I think that's something that we need to continue to work on. You sitting here today, you have your entire life ahead of you, and there's plenty of people, mostly elderly, that have an entire life behind them full of knowledge and wisdom and life stories that you just sit down, give them some time, and you'll be amazed at what you learn. Go for coffee. That's what I do sometimes. Kind of makes me feel old, but I like it. And on the other note of talking about older people, I always say that you have to call your parents. You're about to head out into life and live it based off of the lessons that they have taught you. There's a pretty good chance that you might get into some trouble, or you might need somebody to talk to, and lots of the time your parents will be there for you. At some point since I sat on this stage, both of my parents have been my best friend at one point or another. I've moved back in with them like 3 times. That's okay. They've put a lot of work into you, so call them to remind them what a good job you've done. And it's also important for me to let you know that you don't have to listen to what everyone has to tell you. It's okay to do things that are a little bit differently. It's okay to do things out of spite, which is a lot different than hate. But I always struggled coming up through school, and I was told often that I wouldn't do very well in university. So out of spite, I was like, well, I got to prove to everybody that they're wrong, so I'm going to do really good in university. I graduated with distinction on my degree. I actually graduated a university athlete. It was for being the captain of the most teams in my graduating class, but that's about perspective. So it depends on how you look at it. I also think it's important to remind you that you don't always have to take advice from people who aren't doing what you hope to do. If I listened to everybody who told me about the dangerous countries I was traveling to, I wouldn't have went. The other thing is that they had never been to those countries. So I went and I experienced it for myself, and it wasn't that bad. So the last piece of advice that I got was from a New Zealand man named Daniel. All he had to say was that you will look back and be grateful for where you are now. When I was sitting on this stage 7 years ago, I remember feeling silly because I thought everybody graduated from high school, and it just kind of seemed like I was just doing it because I had to. And then I met somebody who showed me an area in China where I was visiting, where most of the people were illiterate and had never went to school, and all of the public bathrooms had pictures on the wall to show them how to properly use a toilet. So it's important for you to be grateful for where you're sitting now, the life lessons that you've been given, and the things that you can carry on with you going forward. I'm grateful for every direction my life has taken me. It doesn't always have to be great, but it's kind of all about character development. It's brought me to this moment, which I think is pretty cool, and I know I gave a decent amount to, I hope I gave a decent amount for you guys to think about, and hopefully something stuck with you. But thank you for this opportunity, and good luck with whatever adventures life has for you, and congratulations. Good luck.
Oh, no, I can't do it. Yeah.
Are you going to ask me? You're not asking me anything. All right.
And I'm doing this for Dylan.